Hello, hello. Welcome to my awesome little vodcast. I'm Crystal Beren, your life coach, helping you to overcome stress and burnout. And today we have a really incredible conversation with my friend, fellow coach, nervous system queen, Katie McIntyre. I'm going to be bringing her on stage right now, and we are going to be having an incredible conversation today about how to clear the mind and close the chatter up that's in our head. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. I always love having our conversations. You've been on my
Me too.
podcast. You've been on my podcast like 2 years ago when we were doing another project together, and I'm happy to have you back.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so good to be here. And of course, I love talking about everything that can help people become a better version of themselves or, be aligned in their power. So it's a great thing to talk about and to share in the world.
Amazing. So I'm going to give you the floor. I want you to tell me and our viewers, everybody who's listening, because I mean, some people might know you, some people might not know you. Tell me, who is Katie? What do you do? Who's this incredible human being that I have in front of me today?
Oh, well, don't think we have enough time for that, but I will kind of narrow down on what we're going to do today. I'm a person that is really curious about how the mind body connection works. And in my discovery, in my to learn about that, I've just been incredibly amazed at what mind body connection really means. It's like, how do you like how do I explain who I am to you in a short little while, and how do I explain what the mind body connection is? I mean, scientists are still trying to determine and figure out this vast system that is our nervous system, right? That allows us to um, compute information, sense information, and be a part of life itself in our experience. So this is what I do. I love to help serve people. And in the way that I serve people is for them to be really deeply connected to themselves, others, and their life. And you really do create that connection by rerouting, how you perceive and how you believe and how you breathe. So I really focus on those things. My journey is about wellness, holistic wellness. So I want to uncover with people the power in that mind body connection that allows them to have choice, a greater choice for how they want to live and experience their lives, because the system is full of patterns, right? It's full of information that is stored. And so how do we get to um, not only like discover it and bring it out so that we can rearrange it and then put it back in so that the storage system is working in a new updated version, right?
Yeah, we've gotten an Apple update.
Exactly. Got to update those softwares and really appreciate and love the hardware that is us, because um, why not? Why not? Why not have fun? Why not enjoy life?
I absolutely love that. And it's interesting because I've noticed a pattern in the conversations that I've been having with the incredible people that I've been having on the podcast. And one of the things is like, it's this constant evolution of the human being. And allowing us to really like look into ourselves and take apart certain things and then rebuild them. And I can't emphasize this enough. I mean, I've worked with you in the past. We're working on projects together, but I'm still learning from you every day. Like every time we get into a conversation, there's something to learn from. And I think that that's really, for me, that is what I see you doing, is allowing people to continue to, I guess, unfold that onion and continue to unfold the onion, because I think it's like a never ending onion. It feels like a never ending onion, but at the same time, that's a good thing. And I think that we have to be very, very consciously aware of that, is that our journey is not something that starts and stops. There's a constant evolution. And that's what I see that you're doing with people every day. And that's a blessing that we have people like you that are doing that.
Thank you, Crystal. I feel the same with our interactions. Getting nervous systems together to like get turned on and get activated and really to take in life, and then watch how your unique vibe, your unique language, your unique expression of life moving through you, and gifting that to me, and feeling that that you will receive who I am and the expression and the nuance that is me. And then like that combination of feeling so safe, trusting, and loving, really, I'm blown away all the time, like to walk away from a conversation with you and or a retreat or an experience where it's like, isn't it so great? And
Yeah.
then that inspiration, everything's turned on, and but in a calm, beautiful, integrated way. And then you like go and do so many wonderful things. You share that with others. You promote that in the world. And if we're a part of that form of evolution, being like inspirational and being safe and being loving and being creative, then like like evolution is going in the direction that I think is incredible. So yeah, and we work together with people to take the pieces that don't feel that exciting and don't feel that nourishing and that loving, and we work on them to create them into something else that is serving us in our future, right?
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. So, today's conversation, we are going to be talking about clearing the chatter. So, I know in the description of this video, this live that we're doing, it's all about, the thoughts that we have in our head, all of the things that are continuously moving, and we have chatter. We have a lot of chatter. Now, I think that's a normal process. And I would like you to maybe talk a little bit about that. But I also want to talk about a little bit about the process of actually clearing that chatter, because for a lot of people that chatter just keeps going and unfortunately creates a lot of blocks in the human psyche, not allowing us to move forward a lot of things, right? It actually holds us back. So sometimes it's capable of being used to propel us forward, but in a lot of us, myself included, I've got the chatter too, it can hold us back in a lot of ways. And so tell me a little bit about like what you've been doing, to help people clear that chatter, and what is that chatter like in your incredible like nervous system regulation process. Like what does that chatter look like, and how do we start to take a look at it in a different way and like turn it into something that's more beneficial to us?
Yeah, I love that. It's so fun. So I look at things in a way that it's okay, is it chronic or is it acute? Meaning chronic is like, I've always been like that. That voice in my head has been there like forever. That you can really look back and say like it's been here, and here, and here, and here. Okay, so that's chronic.
Yeah.
And so we're going to approach that differently than, let's say, acute, which is like, I don't typically have an issue with anything in this domain. And for some reason, I'm like really fixated
Mm.
or turned on in an anxious way to like I can't get myself around it. I can't figure it out, so it just keeps looping. And that could be an acute thing. That's just like this is just here and now. But it's so fascinating that the difference between somebody that does their own personal development to clear the deeper, long-term mental processing that is happening and clean that up, they're really the only people that are going to then navigate acute
Mm.
chatter because it is most likely a stored system that maybe you're just now becoming aware of,
Mm.
and maybe you're just now willing to do something about, right? So that is one thing. So you can get to the acute space by recognizing like this is because it's new. We go through new things, we get new triggers, and we're like, hey, now I have an interaction with myself on a day-to-day level that can really hear myself and can really connect with myself and really be in myself. So there's less need for chatter when
Mm.
that's occurring because it's a regular conversation that you're actually good at.
So
So
from what I just want to I just want to dive a little bit deeper. So from what I'm understanding, the chatter is the conversations that you have with yourself that are unchecked, that are not being brought to awareness.
yeah, and awareness is an interesting topic of what that would mean. It is because anyone would say that they're aware of what their mind is saying.
Hmm.
They're aware that they can't shut it off. They're
Yeah.
aware. I can ask them. They're aware of what it's actually saying.
Mm.
But then there's a junction of like there's like typically a little like space that is like I'm aware of this, but I don't have awareness of this, and this is why it's still going. So there's now like it's going. I'm aware of it, but then there's a space. It's because it's happening at a different level of the mind
Mm.
that you're not accessing that level of awareness because that level of awareness will actually penetrate it and alter it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, got it. That's good. That's very good. Okay, so what do we do? What should we be doing like to help us move from that, initial phase into the I guess I don't want to use the word awareness per se because again, like in the way that you just described it, it's a little bit deeper than I'm caring to go into right now because
Yeah.
we can have hours long conversations about awareness, but like what can people do tangibly, to help them to move through that chatter and to start having those better conversations with themselves?
Yeah, so I look at it in two categories that need to work together. And I, the categories are beliefs and breath. So there's an interaction going on in your nervous system that is always subtly navigating your homeostasis, right? Which is your breathing.
Hmm.
So it's always responding to making sure that you can function on multiple levels,
Okay.
right? So you want to look at processing with the breath, and you also want to look at processing with your beliefs because underneath the mental function of how come this is so important, how come it can't be quieted, is because it's a belief is upholding that, and most likely that belief is about your safety.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how can I change it? Well, you can't because unless you go in through the lens of looking at beliefs, you cannot change it because logically, it's not like we can make sense and we can talk about how, like I said, it's a different part of the brain. So we can make sense about how, oh, I would be scared of that, and then that would make me act like that, and blah blah. But understanding it doesn't mean that it's actually embodied change, right? So that's why we have to like actually go in and through the lens of beliefs, because there will be aspects of yourself that have an understanding of what safety really means. And so when you have a calm mind, there's nothing to plan or figure out or nothing to protect yourself from. It's
Yep.
just you're breathing, you're being, you're listening, you're engaged for what is here and what is now. But if you have dangers imprinted in, like, no, 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 if I don't think about that and that goes on tomorrow, like I don't set myself for that, then that's going to go all wrong and we're going to have problems. Because now the mind goes,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure that out. Or what are they going to think about me if I if
Oh.
I do this? What are they going to do? Like, that's a danger. They could be judging me. And if they could be judging me, that means like maybe they won't like me and maybe I won't get that job or I
Mm.
won't get that contract. Shoot. So now the mind's going, the breathing's going. I'm stressed, right? So really going through and recognizing you can change the stress by navigating your breathing. Because
Yes.
now, oh my God, I'm breathing and like really thinking about this. Now I'm getting a shallow breath. Now I like my tension's coming up,
Yeah.
like I'm getting activated. Even if you like look stoic, people tell you there's a lot going on in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
And
see it in all kinds of places. You can see it actually when you start to get used to being able to point out those things. Like feeling energy is actually something that I've gotten really good at doing, right? You can tell where somebody is and where they're breathing from.
yeah. And so you can lower it down and get more ease,
Yeah.
right? More safety by having a more efficient breath,
Hmm.
right? So you can work to, if you've been in a chronic state and it's like so much noise all the time, you can work yourself in your physiology to help um, calm the system down to feel more safe. And then the mental chatter will be significantly less, right? Because what the mental chatter really is your nervous system computing.
Yep. It's
What
taking
is the information, right? So it's either is it got a lot of noise from past experiences that it didn't compute well,
it.
it didn't have space to, it didn't have time to, maybe it just didn't know how to, so it didn't compute well. So it's still trying to compute that, and it's still trying to play the information from that experience. Or is it in the present moment where there's so much information that you don't have the ability to compute it, right? So if you start to breathe and you improve that your system has enough,
Mm.
then you can manage and work with that. But if you work on your mentality and your belief systems and you don't work on your breathing, this is where some this is important for people to know, because they might be doing processes that are about their mental belief systems,
Yep.
right? But they're not doing anything for their breathing.
Mm.
So what happens in the nervous system? And then there's some people that are just doing breathing and they're not doing belief systems. So why you need both is because the belief is the breath is the acute, it's the
Yep.
day to day, it's the present, it's the moment, and it's computing information. So you want to make sure that you have the skill
Yep.
to hold that and to use that function really well. And then when you're just working on beliefs, if you don't breathe well, guess what? The system's always saying, it's not enough. I need more. I'm not aligned. It's not okay. It's not enough. Take in more, because it's not using the function of breathing well. So on a cellular level, your body is like, no, I need more. I need more. You're not. I
You're
need
never taking
more.
yourself down from that, like that high strung feeling, I guess, to put it in layman's.
It needs more efficient oxygen exchange.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
It
constant.
literally cannot meet the demand.
Yeah, you're never bringing it into the parasympathetic. You're never bringing it into the rest mode. You're always in the sympathetic where it's like constant go. So if you're not regulating both of them, both systems, you're actually never really balancing.
Correct.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And there's certain components that you have to understand to get to the parasympathetic, but then the the parasympathetic and sympathetic are a relationship in themselves,
Mhm.
and that has to be harmonious. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a symbiotic relationship, and unfortunately, in today's age, it's not as symbiotic as it should be. One is supposed to kind of work off of each other. Like they're supposed to work in a beautiful yin and yang kind of state, right?
Yeah.
But in the life that we've been living, like we've kind of, for an automatic system, It has become a part of us that actually has to be consciously worked on in order for us to be able to live in today's society. It has to be
Yeah.
brought to consciousness. Whereas, when we were in caveman days, it was just like, it is what it is, because we had maybe 3 or 4 things that we really had to think about. We didn't have all of the stimuli that we have in today's day and age. And so we've evolved, but we haven't actually evolved that part of the nervous system. And we wouldn't want to either, because that is a beautiful balancing system, but we just have to learn how to bring it. So this is basically what I'm understanding, is like we have to learn how to bring that into our day-to-day lives today in our society, with the way that we actually have to live and interact with this incredible universe.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Good.
For sure.
How do you do this with people? So like, what are some ways that like we can either like get on a journey of something like this, with either working with you, or or even just starting on their own, whatever it may be? Like, give me some ideas about, like, one, how to work with you. How can they start on their own? Like, what's the best steps?
Yeah, so I offer programs and I offer events. So it is a process of unfolding
Yeah.
and discovering and implementing, right? So I have so many ways to teach that and for the person to experience it, so that it's now a new, like, you have to do the doing, right? Like I say to people, like, I can't breathe for you. You're the breather, right? So you're the breather, you're the believer, and so you have to come and where you're at in your commitment to yourself, I can meet you. So I offer 3-month long programs. I offer 2-day workshops. I offer an hour and a half events. Like I offer privates, one-on-one. I offer corporate packages. So it's like, where you're ready to commit to that, I can meet you there.
Got it. And I think you
Yeah.
have something coming up, if I'm not mistaken, very shortly. There's something coming up that's actually accessible to everybody, right?
Yeah, so yep, we have a masterclass coming up on September 21st, where if you join the VIP, which is the extra hour early, we're going to actually work specifically on um, the people that show up, them clearing their minds in action. And then in the general admission, I'm going to give ways that you can go about doing it, and give you a taste of what it's like to implement clearing the mind. And so you can put them into place right away. There is, what I love about working in the nervous system, like, there's so much potential.
Yeah.
So I don't even begin to say that I know to the extent of what's possible for you to experience for yourself, right? So I'm open to witnessing people experience such shifts in like one session, one moment. Like, it's like, wow, the shift has happened. It's really clear. A lot of people claim, like, that's my takeaway. I just saw a whole new way of operating for myself, and I'm excited and engaged to go and do that on a regular basis. Like that's what you want,
That's
right?
huge.
Like, when I sign up for something and I go, like, I want that result, and I want to have it understood, and I want to live it, like, what otherwise, like, I'm not just going to go and receive more and more information, right? The consumption economy, that, like, the consumption, the consuming that's happening to all of us is not necessarily serving this higher way of feeling and experiencing our lives, where we feel really connected to ourselves and confident. Like, it's creating the noise,
Yeah.
So it's not about joining a class to, like, consume more, right? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody has enough information,
We have tons of it.
right?
We
And
have
if you need information, I'm sure you'll get it when you need it. Like, so the
My
most
husband always
important
says
thing.
that you're the smartest person in the world as long as you have access to a phone.
Well,
You could be, but again, like you said, like we have access to the information, but really implementing it. And so I think that this workshop, this masterclass, is about learning how to implement certain things in our lives to be able to eliminate that chapter, to be able to regain that power that we all have, to be able to, bring us back to a place of like homeostasis and like, good feelings, good vibes, allowing ourselves to be in tune with ourselves. And so what is it? So the master class, if I'm not mistaken, you said the first hour is a VIP hour. And so it's from 1 to 2, if I'm not mistaken, right? And
Yep.
so during that 1 to 2 o'clock, what was the price again for that?
$41.
$41. So for $41, you can get a VIP experience with you, where you dive in directly to the participants' specific beliefs around their current chatter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then from 2 to 4, I believe it is 2 to 4 o'clock.
Yep.
2 to 4 o'clock. It's a more broader kind of like with teaching the actual like process of going through it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And implementing it. We'll do some. Yeah. You want to get ingrained into, that way of clearing yourself.
That's
Clearing
amazing.
yourself is, like so many people say, I have trouble letting go. I have a lot of mind chatter. I have trouble sleeping.
Mm.
This person said this, and now like my day's ruined. Like how do I get myself back on track? All of these ways of experiencing your life are how you want to be able to clear and align super efficiently, right? Like, yes, things are going to come in. We're going to breathe in toxins. We're going to be around toxic people. We're going to be around a lot of stimulus. We're going to maybe leave ourselves and please others. We're going to, but all of that, how do you clear that quickly? How do you clear that efficiently? Because that clarity, that's why I say regain your power. Like that clarity is power.
Yep.
Right? Our system is safe. It's totally connected. We're able to make intuitive and smart decisions for our well-being because we're already in our well-being.
That's amazing. The cool thing about this too, so one, obviously I think you're the coolest, but we're actually working together on these master classes.
Yes.
So I'll be there with you for these incredible master classes. And I believe you're hosting them approximately monthly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no dates in the future to be announced. I think that's the fun thing about what it is that we're doing, is that we're booking them and then, we're picking the dates afterwards. I think I love the flow of it. And so we'll be actually, for anybody who's watching or anybody's watching the replay, you can take a look in the comments, either on YouTube, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I'm going to make sure to pop that link in there. And so when you go to Katie's page, you're able to find the actual event. And then when you choose because it's $41 for VIP, but its general admission is free, right?
Yep.
So it's a completely free masterclass. And if you want to dive into your own personal thing, then you can go into the VIP one. But like, this is a freaking phenomenal opportunity for people to, if you're just thinking about starting this journey, and even for people who have not just started the journey. I mean, I did this with you last month, and it was eye-opening for me just as much as everybody else that was in the masterclass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, right? We get together and magic happens.
I was just gonna say magic happens.
Yeah.
Katie and Crystal making magic since 2019, is it?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I'm so happy that you're with me on this journey. It's so great.
Same, honestly. And if you guys didn't know, if I didn't already mention it, I worked with Katie one-on-one 5 years ago. I had the pleasure of meeting her when I was working as a real estate assistant. That was fun, and that was post burnout. I can't say post burnout. That was kind of still during the burnout. I was burnt out before that, but I was still healing. And I had the opportunity to work with her, and we've stayed connected over the years. And we've done retreats together. We've done breath work together. We've done all kinds of incredible collaborations together. And there's always more to come. Was there anything what is there anything else that you wanted to add, Katie, to this conversation today before we let our viewers, before we sign off from the podcast today?
Yes, Crystal, you are such a great coach. And I know that you are able to do that because you have a relationship with the energetic field, and we very much talk about frequency and energetic field when it comes to the nervous system because it's electromagnetic currents that are running through us, right? So I want to ask you, how would you describe your current season with your relationship with your nervous system?
That's a very, very good question. So I'm going to be completely raw because I think that if there's anything that I have preached in the last 5 years of doing this, is complete honesty and integrity. My relationship these days with my nervous system is off. There's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter going on. But I'm giving myself the opportunity to be able to step back and step kind of into that awareness, right? Like allowing myself to be part of that conversation with myself when I'm having those seasons, because I'm calling it a season because it is what it is, right? Like we have days that are great. We have days that are not as great. We have weeks and months that are great, as well as weeks and months that are years. It literally comes in an equal balance. And I'm going through one of those right now. And, to be completely honest, I've been using my tools. I've been using my resources. And is it something that's easy? I'm going to say no. I have to say no. It's not easy because, being able to step outside, especially when things have been really great. Like I've had a beautiful last 5 years and I really have not had, that many mountains to climb over, but I have a very big mountain that I'm working on climbing right now. And yeah, so I'm taking it all in. I'm learning about myself at every single step of the way. And I'll say this: navigating something that you've never navigated or that you have not navigated specifically. In my case, the passing of a loved one. The last time that happened to me, it was in 2005. That's 20 years ago almost. And so the memory of that time is not something that comes to recollection immediately. And so going through something like that, again, you have to relearn. You have to relearn about yourself. You have to relearn about what's important to you and how you actually need to navigate that. And so, I'm glad that we work together, and I'm glad that, like, as partners in this, world of coaching, because that's what I call it. Like I really believe that there are coaches out there for everyone. And I truly believe that's why I called this Crystal's Coaching Connections, because ultimately at the end of the day, I truly believe that we all need coaches and mentors in our lives. And there's enough love to go around with all of us. So yeah,
Hmm.
that was a long-winded response, but
Perfect.
but I again, in all honesty, I think that's the most important thing for me, is really being as truly honest as possible with myself, with my viewers, with my friends, with my family.
Yeah, that's the connection, right? To be authentic
Yeah.
and be real, because otherwise there's a disconnection, and it will make an impact over time, having a disconnection to the self.
Yep.
So that honesty is huge. So thank you for sharing your relationship with your nervous system these days. It's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you so much,
Hmm.
Katie. I really appreciate having you with me. I appreciate you even asking me to be working with you on these incredible master classes. It's my pleasure and honor to be along your side and to call myself, I feel like calling us one of the greats, right? Because we're helping people every single day,
Yeah.
on every step of the way. So yeah, this was great. I wasn't expecting that question. So like, yeah, I'm like, ah! Nobody ever asked me questions on my podcast.
Well,
There's a first for everything.
you're a great person to get to know, and
Thank
if
you.
they could get to know you more and more by listening and and just learning. We all influence each other, and you're a great influence. So,
Thank you. Thank you. So are you, Katie.
mhm.
This was amazing. So, guys, Clear the Mind, Regain Your Power is on September 21st, starting at 1 o'clock for VIP, 2 o'clock for general admission. Katie and I are going to be there. We're going to be having a really great Saturday afternoon with you. So, get your stuff together. If you've got some essential oils, you got a good tea happening. We're going to have some really incredible conversations. I'm really looking forward to this, Katie. And thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the replay, pop a little replay in the comments. And I will be posting the link to the masterclass in the comments shortly on all of our platforms.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Katie. I am
Thank
going
you.
off the air now.
All right. Bye.
Bye.